Hi, my name is Stephanie. I am going to be talking about my birth story, but first it's going to go back to 20 days ago. Yes. So today is May, I think, 15th? Yeah, 2025. So I gave birth 11 days ago. 9 days before that, I got a procedure done called ECV, external cephalic version. So my baby was breached majority of my pregnancy. I stopped working at 36 weeks. I am in the state of California, so that's what I decided to do for my pregnancy to get ready for labor. And I was presented with my delivery options around, I think, like 37-ish weeks. I was going in office to get NSTs done twice a week because they said I gained over the amount that they think it's safe or whatever. And my BMI was over 40. So I gained over 40 pounds. My BMI was over 40. I weighed 220 by the end of my pregnancy. I felt great. And at my NSTs, they were so sweet to me, and they told me, oh, has the doctor talked to you about your delivery options? Because usually, at 37 weeks, babies don't turn, and you have to schedule a C-section by 39 weeks. I was terrified. So I talked to one of the OBs. I didn't have an established OB because I was meeting all of them since with my insurance or the hospital that I delivered at, all the OBs are on call. So it could have been anyone to deliver my baby. So I decided to meet all of them besides one. I didn't meet him, and come to find out he was the one who delivered my baby, which it was great. So anyways, going back to the ECV, this video is focused on ECV. And I'm making this video because when I was searching on YouTube of positive ECV stories, I really didn't find a lot out there, to be honest. I found one that was a couple years ago. She posted it. She was in a different country, and it actually really helped set my mind. So going back to the ECV, it was presented to me around 37 weeks. I spoke with one of the OBs, and she comforted me while I was crying in her office because I did not want to have a C-section. My goal was to, one, have a healthy baby, have a healthy delivery, but I always wanted a vaginal unmedicated birth. So the C-section was super scary. The doctor presented it to me and told me, all right, you have to schedule it soon when you hit 37 weeks. So I was actually 36 weeks when I talked to her. And then I was hitting 37 weeks that same week. So a couple of days after that appointment. And I got the appointment scheduled. I honestly didn't really research it. I didn't talk to my doula about it. I didn't really review all the things that I usually do review before making a big decision like that. So I felt rushed. I felt pressured. They do the ECVs at 37 weeks because there's a higher chance that'll be successful, because the more time that baby grows, it's harder to flip them because of their size. So I had the appointment scheduled for, I think it was April 16th. I think it was a Friday. And I went. So I went to the hospital. They do it in the hospital for safety reasons. And there's less than a 1% chance that you could be rushed into emergency C-section. If the water breaks, the placenta gets detached from the uterus when flipping baby. So my husband and I went to the hospital. It was in the morning. I fasted. I did all the things that they told me to do beforehand. So mind you, earlier that week, around, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I talked to the doctor about the ECV. I hit my 37 weeks on Thursday. So I think I went on Friday or Thursday. And I did not, like I said, I didn't research. So I was super scared. I was nervous. I was worried. I was not confident. It was not good. So go to the hospital, and the doctor that was going to perform it, I really didn't know her, didn't really like have a rapport with her. I had time to build one. I know sometimes you don't have that at all, but it just didn't feel right, to be honest. So the point I'm trying to get at, it didn't feel right at all. So I was texting my doula before they're going to do the version, and I expressed to the nurse and to the doctor that like I was nervous, I was worried, I don't know if I wanted to do it or not. I had faith that the baby would turn on her own, and a lot of people told me too, like, oh, she's going to turn, but then, you know, my insurance was telling me, or like I have Kaiser. So Kaiser was telling me like, oh, you have to do the ECV by this time of your pregnancy, or you have to get a C-section. So that's what I mean when I felt pressured and rushed to do this. So I'm texting my doula. I'm in the hospital. I'm in the gown. They haven't hooked up any IVs yet. I'm texting my doula and I'm telling her like, hey, I'm going to get the ECV done. And she's like super surprised. Like, what? Like, I didn't know you were going to go through with it. Like, do you need anything? She calls me. We're talking about it. And she's like telling me, she's like super supportive. So we hang up, and then the nurse like came back in. She realized I was crying, and she's like, oh, let me give you a minute. The doctor did come in. She did talk to me about, you know, how the procedure goes down and all that stuff. And I was so nervous. So she gave me a minute to like think, because I was like, I don't know if I want to do this or not. And so nurse left, doctor left. So it's just my husband and I in the room. And I was like crying, and I was looking at him like, I don't want to do this. This doesn't feel right at all. So he looked at me and he's just like, you don't have to do this. And I'm getting all emotional because it was so powerful to advocate for myself and have my husband just be so supportive. And he was just like, you really don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Like, we could leave right now. And I'm like, you're right. I actually like don't have to do this. So the nurse came back in, and I told her like, yeah, I'm going to decline. Mind you, like, I already paid my copay. I already signed all the paperwork. I'm in the hospital gown. So I'm like naked, ready to do this version. And I tell him like, we decided we're going to decline, and just like have hope and faith that baby's going to turn on her own. I can't remember if I was doing like spinning babies before this. Maybe I was doing spinning babies before that appointment. So we leave the hospital. We go get breakfast. It was great. I felt supported and loved. I texted my doula. I let her know like I declined, and she supported me and praised my commitment, you know, to myself and listening to my gut, and gave me encouragement. So the doctor did say, okay, if you want, you could reschedule this. Because I did say, like, can I, say if baby doesn't flip, like, can I reschedule and go through with the ECV, you know, later on, whatever, soon, before the 39 weeks, before the C-section is actually scheduled. And the doctor said, yes, like, you could reschedule it, let's say for next week, like, just get it in the books and get it locked in for Friday. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds a good idea. Like, I'll reach out and schedule it. So I didn't make the appointment when I left. Talked to my doula later on that night. We talked about like how I was feeling, my fears, all of that. And she made a phone call, and then she called me back, and then she told me schedule the ECV next Friday. Dr. Serino is going to do it, or she's on call. She could do it. So, and I met Dr. Serino a couple times, I think, like once or twice in the office at my OB appointment. So I felt super confident in what my doula was suggesting. And I told my husband, like, okay, we're going to do it. So I had about like a week, I think. No, 2 weeks. So I was 37 weeks, no, 38 weeks. I had like a week basically in between that time. So within that time, I did everything that I could. I went to the acupuncture. I probably went before that, the decline ECV. But I was walking. I stopped drinking coffee because I think I thought that was making her breached. And it was funny because my sister was like, I think it's more than just coffee. But anyways, so I went swimming. There's a local pool. You pay $5 and you could swim for a couple of hours. It was so worth it. It was great. I did spinning babies like almost a couple times throughout the day. I did prenatal yoga that was offered through the hospital that I delivered at. What else did I do? Stretch, walking babies, acupuncture, chiropractic care. I went to him like twice a week. I let him know like my goal, to have my vaginal birth and hopefully flip baby. So I did all these things before that ECV. So I prayed about it. I talked about it with my support system. Everybody supported me declining that first ECV and supported me moving forward with the second ECV. So I'm doing all those things, right? And fast forward to that Friday that I was going into the second ECV. So I felt so confident. I felt ready. I felt like I just totally trusted in God. My doula was with me. My husband was with me. I brought in my essential oil. It was like a roller thing. So I put that on me. And yeah, it was a Friday. I forgot what day it was, but 20 days ago. And it just felt right. It felt good. So I had worship music playing. It was a beautiful day. The doctor was amazing. The nurse was amazing. And I just like surrendered and I just like listened to what they were telling me. And I totally was like pumping myself up days leading up to this version, telling myself positive affirmations. Like I could do this. But I also didn't attach myself to that like one end result of this is going to be successful. I did have an open mind. Like maybe this won't be successful. Maybe I will have to get a C-section. I did remain very open to those both outcomes because I didn't want to feel super disappointed if it didn't work out, right? But I also had the goal, my dream birth, and I did, like ask God, and I did want it to work, but I remained open if it didn't work. So, and that's one thing I learned about in the past in life, like don't get too attached to one outcome. Be open, right? But still have hope. So the version. So they offered me an epidural. We asked questions. It only increased the success rate by 5%. Thank God for my doula because she was asking questions, asking numbers and all that stuff, but things I wouldn't have even thought about. I wanted to get the epidural because I thought the 5% would totally be worth it. It would increase it by 5%, right? Like why wouldn't I? So, but we talked about the consequences of getting an epidural. Say if the version didn't work, I would have to be back at the hospital a week later for a C-section. I would have to get another epidural and all the things that my body would have to undergo through like 2 epidurals. So there were pros and cons. I had to talk it out with my doula and my husband, and my husband immediately was like, don't get the epidural. Like you could definitely do this. And I have a high tolerance for pain, I feel like, and I've been through a lot of stuff in life. So where my mind has been trained to just tough it out. So that could be a good thing and a negative thing. But anyways, back to the version. They did give me something called, I can't remember. What was it? Not Pitocin. I can't remember, but it's a medication to relax the uterus. So that's the only thing that they used for the version. So as soon as they administer it in my arm, it's just a shot. I think they had IVs hooked up to me. I really should have made this video sooner, but anyways, so the doctor told me like, okay, well, like after 5 minutes of getting the medication, we're gonna do it because it only takes like 5 minutes for the medication to kick in. And I was like, wow,